A young man traveled to a remote village to learn from the most respected master in the region. He believed the only thing he lacked was a special technique to transform his life. But in their first meeting, the wise man offered no words, only a challenging image. He filled a cup of tea until it began to overflow. That gesture, as simple as it was profound, would reveal why the young man was unable to learn anything new. The young man, named Liang, had studied for years. He read tirelessly, gathering ideas, techniques, and advice from everywhere. He felt his mind was a crowded warehouse, yet he still couldn't move forward. As he climbed the hill toward Master Yun's home, he was convinced that this time he would finally receive the answer he had always been searching for. The master's home was simple, surrounded by bamboo and silence. There were no murals, no symbols, nothing that hinted at greatness. It was a place where even the wind seemed to walk carefully. Liang thought such a humble setting must hide deep secrets, and he entered convinced he was ready to receive the master's wisdom, unaware that he was arriving far too full. When he saw the master, Liang began speaking enthusiastically. He told him about his studies, his conclusions, his daily practices, and all he had managed to learn on his own. His words ran like a river with no pause. He hoped to impress the wise man and prove he was a worthy student. But Yun listened in silence, like someone observing the sky without needing to describe it. When Liang finally stopped talking, the master picked up a teapot and began pouring tea into 2 cups. He poured slowly with absolute calm, until the young man's cup reached the brim. But Yun did not stop. The tea rose, trembled, and spilled over the table. Liang's eyes widened in surprise. "Master, the cup is full," he said. Yun smiled gently, leaving him in a suspense he did not yet understand. Liang still didn't grasp the master's intention. He pointed at the cup and insisted, "If you keep pouring, everything will be wasted." Yun set the teapot aside and looked at him with a disarming calm. "The same happens with you," he said. "You come full of ideas, conclusions, and certainties. If there is no space within you, no teaching can enter." Those words felt like an unexpected mirror. A slight blow struck Liang's pride. He thought he had arrived prepared, but the master's words showed him otherwise. He tried to justify his enthusiasm, but realized his mind kept repeating thoughts that prevented him from truly listening. That small yet intense moment became the first crack in his inner habits. A silent microchange was beginning to take shape. From the window, a few neighbors watched the scene and whispered to each other, "That young man talks more than he listens." Their voices were soft, yet they reached him like an uncomfortable echo. Liang felt something shift inside, a mix of embarrassment and clarity. It was the first time he noticed how much space his need to prove himself had taken. "Master," Liang said with a sigh, "I only want to learn." Yun replied without raising his voice, "Desire is good, but not enough. A true student does not arrive proclaiming what he knows, but allowing his inner self to be renewed." Liang lowered his gaze. He understood that to grow, gathering more information was not enough. He needed to become soil capable of receiving. To deepen the lesson, the master invited him to walk through the bamboo forest surrounding the house. The tall stalks swayed gently, flexible in the wind. "Look at them," Yun said. "They are strong because they do not insist on resisting everything. They bend, they listen, and they rise again. The mind that learns is the same, firm in essence but free of rigidity." As they walked among the bamboo paths, Liang felt every crunch of the ground echoing his thoughts. He had spent years studying, but never emptying his inner self. "Sometimes I feel like I understand everything," he admitted. Yun looked at him with serenity and answered, "When someone believes they know everything, they close the door through which guidance enters. Those who open themselves always find light. The young man tried to remain silent to truly listen, but discovered his mind was still searching for explanations. It was as if his inner voice spoke out of habit, without permission. Yun sensed his restlessness and said, "Your thoughts run too fast. Wisdom is not reached by speeding up, but by breathing." Liang felt those words touch a deep, unfamiliar place within him. They eventually reached a small waterfall. The water fell with a steady, harmonious sound, gently striking the rocks. Yun pointed to the flowing stream and said, "The water moves forward because it does not try to dominate. It simply flows. Its strength is in its flexibility. A humble heart learns the same way." Liang watched its movement and realized he had always tried to control everything. At that moment, a group of students appeared among the trees. They greeted the master and looked at the newcomer with curiosity. "Is that the new student?" they whispered. "He seems anxious." Their words were not meant to hurt, but they touched Liang's sensitivity. It became another small turning point. Realizing how others perceived him made him reflect on his attitudes. The master stopped and spoke with a firm voice. "True learning begins when you acknowledge you are not yet ready. Accepting your limits is not weakness. It is a beginning." Those words settled in Liang like a seed. For the first time, he stopped focusing on what he knew and felt a sincere need to open himself. It was the beginning of an inner change he had never expected. Back at the house, Yun picked up the empty cup again. He lifted it carefully, as if holding something precious. "When the inside is ready," he said, "even a single idea can transform everything." He poured just a small sip of tea. This time, Liang did not try to interpret it right away. He simply breathed and allowed the teaching to rest within him. That brief gesture became a decisive moment. There were no speeches, no grand revelations. Just an instant in which the young man let go of the weight of his certainties. The silence between them became a bridge. Liang understood that wisdom doesn't always arrive with noise, but with openness. And for the first time, he felt his path was truly beginning, clear and willing. From that day on, Liang always remembered the cup that overflowed. He understood that an overflowing mind cannot receive guidance, and that anyone who wishes to grow must learn to make space. That is how his favorite phrase was born: "To receive, the heart must first open." Because sometimes what keeps us from moving forward is not the lack of opportunities, but holding tightly to what we believe we already know.